Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I believe this is episode 190. We've done 190 episodes today. And you know what? A few episodes back, one of our guests was supposed to be here, but we had some technical snafus. But AJ is here, and he was here early, which I love and appreciate. And so we're going to talk to him today. But let's see, in this 189 episodes, I suppose, how many views we have had so far. Let's take a look. 274,782. We like exact numbers around here as of this morning. So thank you everybody who watches the show, who listens, who downloads, who does all of the things. And thank you to everybody who shares as well. Now's a good time to do that. To get us to 275,000. Can you even imagine whose life is this? Amazing. And did you know that outside of this show, I help other people with their podcasts, their live streams, and the best podcast in the world of human resources, Gorilla HR, the podcast, has a new episode out this week, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm lucky enough to help Becky with the podcast, and I'd like to show you a clip. It's actually audio only, but it is on YouTube. So here's a clip.
Chasing that almighty dollar that you think, it's a great paycheck, but what are you getting from it? You're not happy, you're stressed. And, sometimes it takes getting off that merry-go-round. And then, of course, we had the pandemic, right, Becky? And everybody had to get off the merry-go-round. And that's when
we were thrown off the merry-go-round.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is a definite term that I love that, because we were.
That is a huge, opportunity for people to figure out, okay, what do I really want to be doing? And we're seeing so many people working different now. They determined that what we were doing before is not necessarily the most successful for everybody.
Exactly. So I find myself telling people now, hey, let's go back to the basic career assessment. You tell me what you like, you take the assessment, here's some roles, but even if these are not there, in the age of AI, whoever even thought 10 years ago how many roles there would be that were AI related?
That is Gorilla HR. You can learn more about that podcast at gorilla/hr.com. And if you need help with your podcast, send me an email at makeyourdayricher@gmail.com. That was Sarah Freeman Smith was her guest, who she stole from me while I sent it to her. Sarah's going to be on the show in a couple weeks, and she has a great story that kind of intertwined with both of our podcasts. So she ended up on Becky's podcast as well. A few weeks ago, we had the thrill of a lifetime with Christopher Pellegrini, who is an expert in Japanese spirits. He talked all about his company and all the different types of spirits. Those spirits right there on your screen, we are going to be live tasting, doing a little tasting with him at the end of the season. And you can order those if you'd like to, I guess, drink alcohol with us at 10 a.m. Go to honkakuspirits.com to learn more about them and what Christopher's doing. He's going to come back. So it'll be a fun little interactive time if you get those drinks. Take a look at more about them.
Are you tired of the same old drinks? Let your taste buds travel. Honkaku Spirits delivers authentic Japanese spirits right to your door. From family distilleries in southern Japan, they bring you exquisite small batch shochu, awamori, koji whiskey, and gin. It's more than a drink, it's a journey to Japan in every sip. Discover your new favorite spirit at honkaku.com and enjoy free U.S. shipping on any order. Thanks for sponsoring the show, Honkaku Spirits.
My first guest is a creativity coach who believes everyone has the potential to be an artist. Her revolutionary approach, Make Bad Art, which I do every day of my life, encourages us to embrace imperfection and rediscover the joy of creating for its own sake. Let's explore the power of soul collage and learn how to unleash your inner creative genius. So please welcome and say hello to Nancy Norbeck. And of course, Nancy is not going to play. Let's try this again. You know, people, StreamYard has been changing things. And sometimes it's not all for the best. And this is one of them. All right, let's see now if this will work. Otherwise, we'll just take another break and come back with AJ. Still nothing. Well, super. All right, well, we'll take another break. We'll come back with AJ Tyler right after this. He's got a great book. And then, sorry, Nancy, we'll roll yours into maybe tomorrow's show. We'll be right back after this.
Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co.
All right, well, let's try this instead. My guest today has a knack for reading people and crafting stories that are full of surprises. AJ Tyler is a former CPA and attorney who spent years as a lead negotiator in high-stakes business deals. Now he's channeling that expertise into writing murder mysteries filled with complex plots and characters you won't soon forget. AJ's here to tell us about his books and the real-life skills that make his stories so captivating. Please welcome AJ Tyler.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning,
Good
Richard.
morning.
Thank you very much for having me back.
Well, thanks for being here, and I'm glad you're here because apparently our first guest is not. So,
Well, like myself in the last version, a little bit of technical difficulty just makes you work harder.
I suppose this is every time something like that happens, I go, should I be doing this show live? But here we are. Anyway, well, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Tell everybody about your book called Death Insured.
So Death Insured is a story of, it's kind of complicated to explain, so I try and give a simple explanation. Death, murder, love, betrayal, sex, and money. It's got a little bit of everything. It's culled from my years of experience as a CPA and an attorney, and it started as a consulting engagement for a client when I learned about the concept of viaticals, companies that buy insurance policies for the life death benefit when someone dies. From that, I created a murder mystery, which has always been a passion of mine. I always wanted to write a book. This is the first book in the series. The protagonist is a man by the name of Alan Miller. He's an analytics expert. He falls in love in the book, which is nice because it's a little side story that develops into a story in future versions of Alan Miller's life in the next novel, which is in process of being prepared. But it's really just a lot of twists and turns, and you never know what's going to happen next.
Well, that's always fun. And in your previous life, in all the things you did, at what point in there were you like, this needs to be written down and I need to start taking these stories and turning them into books?
Well, interestingly, Richard, I always wanted to write. My passion for writing came when I read Dalton Trumbo's Johnny Got His Gun when I was 16. From that moment, I always dreamed of doing it. But I came from a family that was high business achievers. So it was undergraduate business degree, pass the CPA exam, go to law school, pass the bar exam, go get a master's of law degree. And all along the way, accumulated information and stories from client experiences and my own experiences. About 5 years ago, I started working on the concept for Death Insured. And I guess maybe a year ago, the book had been completed. I had edited it substantially, thought I was at the best possible version. And it actually was loss that drove me to get it published, which was the second of my two parents had passed away approximately 1 year ago. And when my mom passed, I realized life was getting short and transitions, chasing your dreams are everything.
Mm.
And with that, I reached out to a publisher. I actually wrote a chapter in a book that went to #1 in Amazon, which was a story of immigrants coming to the United States. That chapter was about my grandfather, who was orphaned at the age of 9 and at the age of 12 walked across Europe and stowed away on a boat to come to the United States in the early 1900s. That book went to #1, and that publisher said to me, "You need to publish your book," once he had read a draft of it.
Wow. And you said that you're working on the next book in this series, right?
Right. The next book in the series is called Debt Discharged. It's another story from my experiences as a consultant CPA attorney. Without the murder part, I just add murder to it because it makes it a little more interesting.
Right.
Albeit, I had a friend who read the first chapter of Death Insured and said, "I can't read this. Somebody died. It makes me very sad." To which my response was, "It's a murder mystery. You need at least one murder to make it work."
That's the murder part. Yeah.
Yeah. But after they read the rest of the book, they said, "Oh my God, you have to publish this." So this was someone that had read a draft. And that encouragement from friends also is part of what drove me to get this done.
Who would you say? Oh, sorry. Go.
The second book is going to be called Debt Discharged. As I said, I'm partway through it. And I'm also working on a third book in a totally different genre. It's the story of somebody that is going through life changes, is having experiences later in life, and it's told humorously through his dating life and his work life. And the title of that book is called "Please Don't Call Me a Nice Guy. I Was Hoping to Date You."
That's funny. Who would you say that the books are for? Like, who should be reading the book?
Anybody that likes a great thriller. So for people that love murder mysteries, it's a great read. I have a lot of female friends who have read the book and like the love angle to it, because there is a love and romance angle to the book as well. It's just anybody, it's entertaining. And when I wrote the book, it played in my head like a movie. The chapters are not super long. There's a lot of action. It moves from place to place, but not that you can't follow it or track it.
Do you miss any of your old life as a CPA and attorney, or are you enjoying this part of your life?
No, this has been, I say to everybody, the great part about doing what I do now is I get up every morning and all I think about is what I'm going to write today, whether it's a chapter, a paragraph, or 10 chapters. And it's in any one of 2 different books I'm working on now. But the idea is that everywhere I go, everything I see is fodder for what I'm going to put in a book. So I love what I do. I get up every day. I live in a place in South Florida where I get up, I look at the water and get out my computer and sit there and just start writing away.
Not a bad gig, huh?
No, it's not. And the good thing is the part of my life, the CPA attorney part of my life, was really consulting with clients and helping them, helping friends. I still do that. I have friends that have financial issues. I have a friend that's going through a really bad divorce. And the best part about it is the theme of the book really is there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And you meet people for a reason, you experience life for a reason. The transitions I went through in my life happened because it was the universe's plan to get me to the next place where I was meant to be. This friend called me the other day with the realization that all the bad things they're going through are not problems, they're challenges. And each challenge creates an opportunity to grow.
Can you talk about the title, Death Insured? I want to put that back up here. Were you toying with any other titles? Like, how did you settle on this one? I'm always curious how you decide to title a book.
Well, once I started writing the book, I realized the hardest part is coming up with what to call it. And I had maybe 8 or 9 different titles, but every time I workshopped it with friends and I told them the story behind it, because the idea is that companies are buying the insurance policies and somebody finds out the patients that have chronic or terminal illnesses and kills them in an undetectable way to collect the money from the insurance policy. So the insurance aspect was good. The thing I'm actually most proud of, aside from the title, is if you put the cover back up, I actually worked with an artist a graphic artist and told him what I wanted it to look like. So the cover design, the front cover design is actually mine. And I have no artistic capabilities other than to write. So I'm actually extra proud of that.
I love that. I love that. Can we talk a little bit about the writing process, the publishing process, and when you go from what you did before that was so structured into what could be a very like lenient, I write when I want, do I want to do this? How do you manage for people who are thinking about writing or wanting to become a full-time author? Like, how do you structure your days?
So my days are actually pretty simple now. A little harder when I was doing this because I was still doing consulting when I started writing the book. But now my days are pretty easy. I get up in the morning and I have one goal, and that is to sit down and get at least one chapter done. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. When I'm out, I'm making notes for things that I think about that I want to put in the chapters. For people, I have a lot of friends that say, I want to write my story. I want to write a book. And I always say the same thing. Everyone believes their story is interesting, but it's interesting to them. It may not be interesting to anyone else. But the interesting part of the process for me was I never outlined anything. I just started writing. And when it started flowing, it flowed. But for most of my friends that want to write, I say, start by journaling. Get a journal out, and every day spend an hour writing. Spend a half hour writing. Write down something interesting, something that came to your memory, something that makes you want to create. Maybe it's a triggering event. Maybe it's a song, and it's how you incorporate all that into your story. With regard to the publishing process, that's a little more complicated because there are publishers that you self-publish. There are hybrid publishers. There are traditional mainstream publishers. I worked with a hybrid publisher who helps with some of the marketing, helped me with the editing and with the proofreading, and albeit with 142,000 words, I don't care how good you are, there's going to be a mistake here or there, and that's okay.
Too, yeah.
But it's finding a publisher you can work with that you feel comfortable with first and foremost, because for most people, this is a passion. And when you have a passion, you want the passion to be displayed the way that you see it. So.
I feel like writing, like the written word, like you said, journaling, is starting to kind of make a comeback with things like Substack that's becoming really popular, where people are wanting to read and going back to blogs. Do you find that as well? Or is that just because I'm sort of in that world now where I'm talking to authors?
I think it's probably a combination, Richard. I think a little bit of it is that you're in that world, but a little bit of it is when I talk to people and I talk to friends, and I'm everyone's best friend. I'm the guy they tell all their problems to. I think it comes from my past life being a listener to their issues and helping them solve them. And one of the things that I find is that the easiest way for me, and I'm very analytical, it's my past life, is I like to write things down, make a list of pros and cons when I'm dealing with a challenge, or make a list of opportunities and what's the upside, what's the downside. But I think you're right. The written word really is coming back. And I think it's because people realize that what you say really does have power. One of the reasons I wanted to write, and I talked about Dalton Trumbo's Johnny Got His Gun as an inspiration, is because that book showed me the power of words. Words really do have immense ability to move people. I have writers that I love across the spectrum: murder mysteries, thrillers, spy novels. And the one thing I have in common is the words of those authors take me places. If I haven't been there, I want to go there. If I've been there, it takes me back to there.
Yeah. Yes. Also, I love that you wrote the book with like a movie in your head, because I could totally see that. Yes. Yeah. I agree 100%. What do you love most about your life right now?
What do I love most about my life?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting question. I have a few great friends, many of whom I did not have a year ago. I've met people along the way who are like-minded in terms of being generating kindness and empathy and being helpful and caring, which is great, because they're people I know I can pick up the phone and call. And if I'm having a bad day, they're there for me. I'm there for them. I don't think it has anything to do with the book, but they're also people who give me great feedback when they read what I write. Some of the stuff I'm working on now that's in process, I've sent to friends and said, read it and give me feedback. And what I get is this. I love this, like in the first book. I don't love this, like in the, like, I think you need to go in a different direction. The other part of my life I love is that I have a great family, smaller since my parents passed, but I have a great family. I have 3 wonderful sons and a great granddaughter and another one on the way that make life special every time I see them. I live in a beautiful place, and I get up every morning grateful just to be alive and being able to do something that I love more than almost anything.
Yeah. Almost, with the new grandbaby coming along. Congratulations on that. That's exciting.
Yeah, another 10 weeks and she'll be here, and I can't wait. The first one is 20 months old and is astounding. My kids are in their 30s, and I don't remember that time with them like she is now. But I look at her every time I'm with her and I go, oh my God, I miss this so much.
Oh.
Except for the changing diaper part, of course.
Yeah. And then give it back. Yes.
Yeah, you can have her back. Yeah.
Yes. What's the best way that people can connect with you and follow you?
I'm sorry?
What's the best way that people can connect with you?
Okay, so you can send me an email. The email address is ajtylerauthor@gmail.com. They can also, if they go to order the book on Amazon, ajtylerauthor@gmail.com. And then the webpage is ajtylerauthor.com, and they'll find my contact information there as well. I also, I answer every email I get. I think I even have my phone number up on the website, and I'll answer the calls. I love talking to readers. When I go out and find someone that's read my book, I go out, I'm actually going out tonight. I have somebody that ordered a bunch of copies as gifts. I'm going to meet them at a bar, sign a bunch of copies. And I said, give them all my phone number. I love the feedback, good or bad. So
I love that. That's so fun. The book is called Death Insured. Before we leave today, will you play maybe a quick little game with me?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. It's pretty easy. And if you get it, so in this crown are types of insurance.
Okay.
And I'm going to describe them to you. If you get 5 in 45 seconds, the entire studio audience wins a copy of your book. Okay.
Okay.
We don't have a studio audience, but
that's
but I like to pretend. I like to pretend. Okay, let me get 45 seconds on the clock. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, it'll start as soon as I say the first one. This is when you get hurt at your place of employment.
Workers' compensation.
Correct. This is when you own. Oh, shoot, I said it. Okay. Skip. The vehicle.
Auto insurance.
Yes. When there's a ton of water in your house.
Flood damage, flood insurance.
Yes. Your dog, your cat, the things in your
pet insurance.
Yes.
Property and casualty, depending on how you're insuring them. Yeah, go
ahead. Teeth.
Dental insurance.
There you go. Time's up. Perfect. And everybody in the studio audience is getting a copy of Death Insured. They're thrilled.
It's all 274,782 viewers, correct, Richard?
This is sitting right there, and they're all going to call you as soon as the show's over and they
Absolutely.
get the books.
Congratulations on your 190th show, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Come back anytime.
You got it. I will. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye.
Well, that was fun. I'm really sorry, Nancy, that should we try it one more time? Let's just see. I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe through the magic of StreamYard, it'll work. Ready? Here we go. Let's see what happens. No. Nothing. Nancy, it's there. It's ready. I apologize. You'll be back soon. I promise. But come back tomorrow when we have another amazing show, because we have General Hospital actress Andy Page will be here, and mental performance coach Eric Springberg will also be here to chat with you. So go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Bye-bye.